This is absolutely disgraceful that the president of a country could speak in this way, using the foulest of language against a rapporteur that's highly respected. And really, it makes one believe that the president of the Philippines needs to submit himself to some sort of psychiatric evaluation. This sort of comment really is unacceptable.
Well, what does a UN Special Rapporteur, an ex-Philippine congressman, and 4 former Catholic priests have in common? Well, according to President Rodrigo Duterte, they are all dangerous communist terrorists. Last month, his government filed a petition to have them, along with more than 600 others, officially listed as terrorists for their alleged links to the Communist Party of the Philippines and its armed wing, the New People's Army. That petition allows the government to scrutinize and monitor the movements and finances of all those listed, including a United Nations employee. And that employee, UN Special Rapporteur Victoria Tauli-Corpez, was set to appear on our show last week, but just when our interview was scheduled, she had to flee the Philippines, saying she feared for her life after appearing on that list. But I am glad to say she joins us now from Geneva. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Victoria. First, if you can, bring us back to why you decided to flee. Was your life genuinely in danger?
Well, I really didn't flee. I just had a meeting that I am having here in Geneva, and I had just to come earlier because the lawyers advised me that there might be a whole departure order if I'm going to leave later.
Okay, and what would that mean for you and your work?
Well, if there's such a thing, if the whole departure order is going to be done, then that means that I won't be able to travel outside of the country, when in fact my mandate as a UN Special Rapporteur on the rights of indigenous peoples is to visit countries who have invited me to look into the situation of indigenous peoples. And this means countries all over the world where indigenous peoples are.
Okay, let's be clear then. I don't want to exaggerate. So you didn't actually fear for your safety or for your life or that of your family members or friends. You actually were more concerned about not being able to do your work properly because you appear on this list?
Well, no, I also fear for my life, of course, and of that of my family, because, as you know, in the Philippines right now, there is a context of extrajudicial killings happening against so-called drug addicts or drug dealers. So, being included in such a list is basically putting you in a high risk, because they can also order their subordinates to do what they think should be done against us, those of us in the list. So I do fear for my life, but I was just thinking that because this is a civil case, they would not issue a whole departure order yet.
Okay, now the government says that you are, by law in the Philippines, allowed to fight your listing here, and that the institutions in the Philippines are strong enough to make sure that you're given a fair hearing and a fair case to plead. Do you believe that's true? Do you trust the system in the Philippines?
Well, I don't believe that's true, because we already have a lot of cases in the Philippines where some individuals were charged with trumped-up charges, and also there were some, evidences were planted so that these individuals can be arrested. So that is the situation in my country now, and I think that saying that the opportunity for me to defend myself is a mistake, because it's them who have to prove I'm innocent until, they are able to prove that I'm guilty. So they are putting the burden of proof on me and not on them who are giving these charges.
So in pleading your innocence here, I mean, tell us, what is your relationship with the Communist Party of the Philippines and therefore with the New People's Army?
I absolutely have no relationship with the Communist Party of the Philippines nor the New People's Army, nor have I been involved in the cases that they have mentioned in the petition. So I absolutely deny any connection whatsoever.
And then why are they targeting you?
I think that this is being done in retaliation of the press statement that my colleague Cecilia Jimenez and I made in December last year regarding the displacement of indigenous peoples in Mindanao, as well as the impacts of martial law on them. And after we made those statements, the spokesperson came up with a statement saying that we are embarrassing the Philippine government internationally. So I see that this inclusion of my name in the list is really an act of retaliation by the government because they feel that we are attacking the government in relation to what's happening with indigenous peoples in Mindanao.
Okay, and you feel you are in the Philippines, and part of your job is to protect people whose rights are being suppressed, whose lives may be in danger because of government policy. Do you think the Philippine public is aware of what you're trying to do, and do they support you?
Well, yes, there is a lot of newspaper coverage in the Philippines and also television coverage about the issues of indigenous peoples who have been displaced from their ancestral territories, and some have been killed and some have been arrested arbitrarily. So the people know about this issue.
Okay.
And I think it's not a secret. The news comes out very often.
But what is of concern, and I think something we've learned from the rise of Duterte in the Philippines, is that the Philippine people are willing, in a sense, to sacrifice certain rights and arguably some innocent lives in order to reduce crime in the country and to bring security to the Philippines. Can you relate to that?
No, I cannot relate to that because those people who have been, in fact, killed in this drug war are innocent. They are claiming their innocence, and there is no data whatsoever to show that the level of crime has decreased because of these drug killings. So I don't relate to that at all. I feel that
but why
these
do you think so many
people
Filipino
enjoy
people
due
do?
process. Well, I think that there is some view that the Philippines needs a strong man, to get rid of these drug addicts and drug dealers. So I think that's why some people believe in what is happening.
Okay. Victoria Tauli-Corpez, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us on the Newsmakers.